In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Well, hello and welcome to A Show Called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective.
You're John.
Oh God, yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm John.
He's Nick. Oh, it's fallen apart already. It's fallen apart already.
What a strong start. And Chris is also here.
I'm here as well.
Yeah, and playing the role.
That was good, wasn't it? Well done, John.
And playing the role of belligerent asshole. It's Chris Ray.
I've been typecast, I think.
Yeah, well, we had to. It was a diversity casting. We had to get a belligerent asshole in there.
Yeah. Oh, every production needs one.
Exactly.
We were just commenting off air on. Could we get like a hair update for the listeners?
Yes, absolutely. So my hair is now visible.
Yeah.
And it's fairly fluffy as far as the shaved head goes.
What sort of animal would you say we're closest to?
I think we're probably on sort of gerbil territory.
Ooh.
Oh,
in
nice.
terms of length,
The soft, downy pelt of a gerbil.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
long enough now where like you were running your hands through it there, and it was leaving. It's long enough to like
You can see like
Yes.
it springs
Yes.
back almost as you put your hand through it.
It would be long enough now to shave a cool like zigzag kind of pattern into the side of it, or maybe some crop circles or something.
I might take you up on that.
Yeah, you should.
But the sides now are longer
see,
than I normally have them, but I have shorter hair on top. Normally I sweep it, you see. But now the sides are actually longer than I like them.
Those kids around, those kids, and they've all got zigzags down the sides of their hair.
Kids.
And I never did that. That's so rad. That's so gnarly.
they like go faster stripes.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of going faster stripes.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Here we go.
It could be about anything.
It could be. It probably is. Yeah.
Breaking news.
Show called Hate headlines.
April 2021. Or was it 2022?
Oh, yeah. I think it's 2022.
Oh my God, because we've got like a year and change.
We've got
to
a
wait.
year. We've got a year to build up to it.
I know what you're talking about now.
They've announced Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
I mean, it was inevitable.
Yeah, the teaser trailer is one of those trailers where it's the title of the film, the logo, and that's it. It's nothing. It's just
You
nothing.
get the logo, and then the 2 turns into the tails of tails.
But two is orange though. So who could that be alluding to?
What does that mean?
But it's like he was at the end of the first movie, so I think we all know.
He traces. The little ident they've put out, it goes Sonic the Hedgehog. And you go, and then the 2 kind of like draws itself out of like golden energy. You go, and then it blinks, and the line kind of fills in, and it's like Tails, but his body's been like twisted into the shape of a 2, and he's just kind of like screaming,
"Kill me!"
I would have been much more enthused had the 2 turned into Longclaw.
Oh, Longclaw.
I love
arguably,
Longclaw was phenomenal character.
The favourite character. I'd actually forgotten Longclaw's name until you just said that.
I was struggling to think about it for about 30 seconds there, which is why I was quiet.
I don't want to get into Sonic again.
Sorry.
We don't need to get into Sonic again, but all the defenders of Sonic, right? To all of you defenders of Sonic out there, I just want to say Longclaw. That's all I want to say. Because at that point in the movie, he was in a magical fantasy world, which could have been from an actual Sonic game, but instead they created Longclaw. And that's all I want to say. That's it. That's it.
That is strange, though, isn't it? It's almost like Longclaw was supposed to be in a different movie.
Yes, I would wager that Longclaw was a carryover from possibly like the first draft of the script.
Yeah, or maybe
which was maybe written in 94 or something like that, and it's been kicking about some Hollywood studio for so long. Like they keep rewriting it. Like it's a Sonic movie, and then it gets rewritten, and it's about like Zorbo the alien. And then it was briefly like a buddy cop movie featuring like Vince Vaughn, and then it got rewritten back into like a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. and no one's
Yeah,
got any
kind
idea
of.
like where Longclaw came from.
Yeah.
It's like it's like this old bit of code that's just left behind and is still running, and nobody ever stopped to question Longclaw, because by the time we got the development team we got now, they haven't played Sonic ever, so they assume that Longclaw must be part of the rich mythology of Sonic. They just assume that must be the case. So it's like, we can't mess with the Longclaw scene because obviously it's Longclaw.
You could imagine all these people sitting in suits in a room going, "Oh, we've got to include Longclaw in one of our movies. It doesn't matter which one. Let's just spin the wheel. Sonic the Hedgehog, that'll do. We'll put Longclaw in that movie, and
It's
we'll
like
just
product placement.
shoehorn her in, and that'll be fine."
It's like Longclaw has to be in a movie. It's just the question of which one.
It's like there was a room full of like executives, movie executives, all wearing suits, and it's just like a massive pile of cocaine in the middle in the middle of the table. And the CEO, he's at that point in the day where he's had like his first martini and definitely not his last line of coke. And it's that day where he just like shoots a random kind of low level kind of executive, and everyone's he's just kind of like, he's got a little bit of blood under his nose. He's just kind of like pointing the gun like back and forth, and he just points it at like this one guy. He's like you. He's like you. Yeah, you. He goes, "What's going to make this Sonic the Hedgehog franchise pop?" And he goes, it's he was raised by an owl called Longclaw. It was like this moment of like utter silence. And he goes, "God damn it, that's brilliant." And then just shoots someone.
And then he shoots
himself.
Shoots him anyway, yeah. Shoots himself. I'll never match up to that. But yes, but in all seriousness, Sonic 2 is coming out. That's happening, and I think we all knew it was going to happen. I think there was a part of me that when I saw the first Sonic, I was like, yeah, I didn't love that, but everyone else will. And we're going to get a sequel because we saw Tails at the end. So it's happening. It's happening now. We've got to suck it up.
Is it going to be the same movie? Is it going to be Tails on Earth? Or
it looked like it, didn't it? Well, it looked like Tails was looking for Sonic on
because
Earth.
of that rich backstory involving Longclaw, which we weren't kind of aware of.
Do you think Longclaw sent Tails?
I think that's almost a certainty. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should, like we did last time, we should make some predictions.
Yeah. We've got a year to think about this.
Seal them in an envelope before we go into the movie. But I think, go on.
Before we make predictions, can I ask a question?
Sure, of course. I mean, I'll be able to answer it.
This is more to the group. Yeah, shut up, sit down. So like we had Sonic, and the sequel's going to be called Sonic 2.
Cool.
Where did they get that from?
Is
weird.
the trequel going to be called Sonic 3 and Knuckles?
No,
Sonic and
Knuckles? No, it was Sonic 3 was a game of itself.
Yeah, I know.
It was.
And then Sonic and Knuckles was effectively Sonic 4.
Oh, I know what they'll do. They'll create 2 DVDs, one that locks into the other DVD, that adds Knuckles into the movie, and he wasn't otherwise in it.
I used to love that feature of in a Mega Drive, that you could plug one cartridge on top of another and Knuckles would appear in a different game. I used to love that.
I don't think any other game did that. I think
it was insane.
Isn't that genius though?
Oh, it is, definitely.
Surely that's a work of genius.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so at the time, and then like CDs kind of made a mockery of the whole thing, really, because
Wow.
I think it should be in the Louvre, though. I think that's a piece of like gaming.
Yeah. I mean, we
art.
talk about what we've gained, but do we ever talk about what we lost?
What did we lose?
Cartridges. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
And you could like take
That's
any
true.
other game and plug it into Sonic 3. And it would add Knuckles to it. That's
probably how Longclaw got there in the first place.
Yeah.
Someone just plugged a cartridge into the Sonic movie. Oh, there's a fucking owl now. That'll do.
It's fucking owl. Yeah. Someone plugged the owl cartridge into the
someone
Sonic
plugged
movie.
the owl cartridge into this movie immediately.
You were saying that like you didn't, like you saw the Sonic movie. We all saw the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
We all
didn't massively care.
Did. Yeah.
We saw it. We actually saw it together on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
What was that exactly a year ago?
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah, the anniversary.
No. Is it?
Yeah,
Is it a year?
It was on Valentine's Day
Last year.
It got pushed. Yeah, last year it got pushed back from whatever it was the previous summer because of the animation.
Yeah.
And that ended up being the last film we've all watched at the cinema.
Oh yeah, of
What
course.
a sad indictment
Of course.
of life.
The pre-lockdown adventure that was Sonic.
Yeah, because we all went out three couples, kind of six working professionals in their early to mid 30s.
Yeah.
And we went and we had a delightful steak dinner, and we watched Sonic the Hedgehog in a movie, and in a cinema, and
if you will.
It was an experience. And then a global pandemic hit.
Yeah, and
and that was the second worst thing that happened last year.
What's weird is like, Nick, you said like you saw it, you didn't much care for it, and you're like, well, I don't massively like this, but I know other people will. The weird thing about that movie is, I honestly couldn't have told you, gun to my head, whether other people would have liked it or not. Like, I thought people would think it was awful, and yet apparently it did very well.
Fair, that is true. I when I said that, I think what I meant was that I thought kids would like it, and people who didn't know Sonic would like it, because it didn't really. It did some weird stuff, but it didn't really do anything heinous, But I thought across the board, Sonic fans will hate it. I thought there's no doubt about that. And that was the thing that surprised me the most, was talking to some real, genuine Sonic fans who loved it. Absolutely loved it. And that I can't understand at all.
At the very least, it would have been a much better movie if they had, I think, done away with Longclaw. That...
I mean, we should stress that Longclaw didn't ruin the movie.
We should stress
Longclaw was in a scene at the start of the movie. And
Longclaw.
The thing is, that was the only glimpse we had of his actual world.
That is probably more the problem.
That's like your opening few minutes. That's a mission statement. That's like.
I mean, let's be honest. I know, that should have been the Green Hill Zone. And that should have been Johnny Lightfoot and Porky Pig, or whatever his name is.
Porky Lewis.
Yeah.
Whatever. And Amy Hedgehog and all those critters. It should have been them, and Sonic gets sucked into Earth somehow. Who cares? But it should have just been that, and everyone would have at least gone, that was cool.
That's the thing. It would have sweetened the pill of, they're setting him in the real world. We're going to make it a relatable kind of buddy cop comedy thing. I can understand that from an executive's perspective. Oh, we've got to make him relatable. Okay, fine. I don't agree, but fine. We're going to do it. So, but the first glimpse we get of the world, that should have just been Sonic. That should have been the Sonic we knew and the Sonic we loved. And it wasn't. It was Longclaw. What the fuck?
And
it's just so weird to mess with that bit.
And the weird aspect of him having a sack of rings, which is such a key gameplay mechanic, as we all know.
As we know. You've got to put them all in your sack and then teleport to different worlds.
The weirdest thing to me is, why is it that, like, the big MacGuffin, the one magical artifact that gives Robotnik incredible powers, is not, say, some kind of ring or some kind of emerald, but a spine from Sonic.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Two things. We have a precedent in the Sonic universe for objects of power, Chaos Emeralds. Second thing, we have a precedent for Robotnik collecting a certain object of power, Chaos Emeralds. Like, what the fuck?
Robotnik's entire in-canon career has been about collecting 7 mystical gemstones.
Every time we've met him, even probably in Mean Bean Machine, I think he's probably going after Chaos Emeralds.
And what's hot right now? Infinity War,
That's honestly the direction I thought they were going in. I thought Sonic was going to be blue because of the blue Chaos Emerald, and I thought he had it inside him, and that's the whole reason Robotnik was going after him, was to pull the emerald out of him. That's the direction I thought they were going to go in. In fact, I think I put it in my predictions for the movie. But why not one of his spines?
The thing is, no one could have turned around and accused them of copying Marvel, because it's well established that's what Robotnik's
exactly.
bag is.
I mean, if they'd added a Chaos Gauntlet, that might have been taking a step too far.
And it just doesn't...
The Chaos Gauntlet.
It doesn't make... Sonic has many spines, and presumably they fall off him all the time. It completely removes...
It's very bizarre.
So strange.
Why didn't he got one, and then he didn't want any more, which I found odd.
Yeah.
I'd be like, shave that hedgehog.
Yeah, I'd be like, just get me the hedgehog, and I'll have as many spines as I require.
And I just find it weird that...
Now and in the future.
I just find it weird that they like when we did our predictions, I had this whole kind of like first act in mind where it was going to be like James Marsden, because that was his character's name, like trying to.
What was it? What was it? I know you're not going to know the answer to this, but what was his character's name?
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's James Marsden.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry. I asked. It doesn't. You're right. It doesn't matter.
I had this whole first act planned where it was like James Marsden, good cop in a small town, trying to investigate the blue blur which the local drunk has seen. But they didn't even do that. Like he just like. It's like that was too much effort. They didn't even bother.
Didn't he sort of someone mentioned Sonic and then he's just in James Marsden's kitchen and it's like
because he's been spying on him
right.
for years. Like he just loves James Marsden.
Yeah.
Oh, but don't forget there was that great joke where he called him Donut Lord.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That was cool. So.
And they mentioned that 3 or 4 times during the course of the movie to make us seem like we were being endeared to James Marsden.
If anything, like James Marsden's character name might have been Donut Lord.
Could have been.
Because I can't remember.
To be honest, I'll be honest, a lot of the things you're mentioning now I had completely forgotten.
It's weird, isn't it? You'd have thought it'd be more memorable.
I didn't forget the joke about being breastfed. I didn't forget that joke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't forget that joke.
That was weird.
I won't ever forget that joke. Or the
there
joke
was one
where
I remember.
Robotnik...
The thing about it is, I remember one thing in it, and it wasn't something Jim Carrey did. He was quite good in it. To be fair, he was all right. There was something, and I remember laughing and thinking that was really funny, but I can't remember what it was.
Was it the breastfed joke? Because that was probably
no. I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
The weird thing about that joke is that although it felt completely out of context, it was actually genuinely quite funny, and I think that's why I'm quite torn about the joke.
I feel it's a shame that Jim Carrey didn't have a director in that movie. That's my big thought.
John, are you having the audacity to suggest Jim Carrey just turned up and did Jim Carrey?
I'm suggesting that they decided to cast Jim Carrey and then they figured we'd make the movie in editing because there's no script.
Spin it around him.
That was kind of my thinking.
And that's how we had...
I feel like they just attached Sonic the Hedgehog to this movie after it was written.
Oh, I think that's something we said in our review,
Yeah.
Our official review. I think we said that this was an alien.
We're going to
movie.
cast Jim Carrey. We've got this promotion with Olive Garden. We've got Long
Olive Garden, yes. Oh my god.
Olive Garden. We've got Longclaw.
We've got
Right,
Longclaw.
so-
We've got like the
Longclaw is
army are involved
unnegotiable.
for some reason.
Oh, because they get a tax break.
Because
Sure,
on
whatever.
paper,
Sure.
And then they just chuck Sonic in.
because
Because
that's the baffling thing
Yes.
is on paper, if you're going to tell the laziest, most paint by numbers story, it's not that all kind of works, like
Kind of.
Sonic gets transported to the real world, small town, contained setting, easier to film in. The army's there, trying to track down this alien hedgehog. Like, that's all doable.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just weird that they don't really do that.
They had all the stuff there to do it, and then they just did something else.
And do you remember when Sonic says, "I've never really lived. If this is my last night on Earth, I want to tick everything off my bucket list."
Yeah.
And James Marsden's like, "Well, we're in this kind of hepatitis-soaked bar on the edge of like a road in Texas, so let's just have a party here." And Sonic is able to tick off like everything he's ever wanted to do, like in one night in a sleazy bar. I'd rather not think about the things Sonic achieved in that night.
I wonder if someone has freeze framed his bucket list. Has worked through all the things like, oh, Sonic, no. Oh, no. Oh. God.
It's like, what's
Yeah.
That was a fun
what's a
interlude.
Texan? What's a Texas hot dog? Oh, that's a meal. It's definitely not a bizarre act in the back of a bathroom. It's fine.
Definitely not.
Oh,
Zoinks.
well, I'm glad we could revisit Sonic.
Yeah, and we will, actually, in 2022. I can't wait. We will definitely all go. The podcast will still be going there, no question
When
about that.
when I
And we'll all
when I
go
think
see it.
back to the movie-going experience, I think of quality films like Sonic the Hedgehog, and everyone taking it in turns to lick door handles, which is clearly what we all did prior to,
I miss
the bad
those days.
times.
Those are the days.
It's going to be weird, is it not? Like going back into public places, given that we've all just had a crash course in hygiene.
To be fair, you've done it for 34ths of your life.
Oh, that is true. But the thing is, I'm at the point now where I watch something on telly and I see someone shake hands filmed years ago, and I'm like, oh, like it's become ingrained to stay away.
It looks
from
weird
them.
when you're watching like a panel show and because now obviously they sit quite far apart.
Yeah.
And they were used to be all bunched up, and you're like, oh blimey, that's a bit close, isn't it?
Yikes! Yeah, probably got some moisture.
I'm sure we'll soon get over that.
I'm sure.
I popped into a corner shop earlier to purchase a beer for the evening, and a gentleman was going in ahead of me, and he was very apologetic because he'd forgotten his mask, and so, but to his credit, he had made up for it by kind of covering his face with like a soiled rag, maybe from like the bottom of his van. He did kind of look like he was trying to chloroform himself. Like he was just he had to hold it over his face the whole time. He was very apologetic about it. So
better than a plastic bag, I guess.
Well, yeah, better like socially.
Arguable.
I think a plastic bag would probably really do it.
It really would work. Yeah, it's just that it would also stop other things as well, I guess.
Given that this is going to be like our life, at least for a little bit of a foreseeable future, a while ahead, you're starting to get like proper, like fashion is starting to respond to like the need for masks. Like Lucy was saying, she saw someone advertising like a turtleneck jumper with like the massive collar that you can keep rolling it up, and it will cover, and it hooks over your ears, and it covers the bottom half of your face.
Wow.
Brilliant.
It's been
sell them while you can. Sell them while you can.
That's it. Yeah, it's not going to be forever.
Some people are, some companies are making like really expensive, like high-end masks now, or helmets even. Like it's like a big like a sci-fi bubble helmet kind of thing.
Oh, I have seen those. They look like Buzz Lightyear.
I've seen one on Kickstarter and it was absolutely insane. It was like a complete like head helmet, but it was completely opaque from the outside, so you kind of you end up looking like a mannequin head,
right?
Because it's just perfectly smooth, but you can see through from the inside. But from the outside, you just look like you've got a white orb for a head.
Nice.
And I was just like, who the fuck is going to wear that? And it came in two colours, white and black. It's like, what? Like glossy white and glossy black, just sphere on your head.
Is it meant to protect you from infection or just like hide your identity?
Well, it's kind of both. Like in the description on the Kickstarter, it was like protects you from like, airborne infections or whatever. And also in this modern world... in this modern world of social media and everyone taking pictures on their phones, it also gives you a bit of anonymity, and you look super cool. And I was like, oh, you look fucking weird, is what
like
you look.
Mysterio from the Spider-Man movie.
And also, if people are told to take off motorcycle helmets when they go into shops because they're hiding their identity, I think you'll probably get told to take that off as well. So that's probably not great.
You see, I saw somebody did a video about trialing. It sounded a lot like that, but it wasn't opaque. So it's like a bit more of like a form-fitting kind of bubble rather than like a great big sci-fi Buzz Lightyear kind of thing. It's like a just covering your head.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but
just wear a rag.
Just wear a mask or an oily rag. Yeah, just tie an oily rag to your skin.
You'll be fine.
I quite like it, actually. It's certainly in the cold weather we're experiencing. It keeps your face warm.
It does. It's true. Yeah.
I went to a football match when we could go to football matches briefly, and I wore a mask. I was like, I'm quite glad I've got this mask because it's bloody cold here.
And
so it was quite useful, actually.
Yeah, and, when you were kind of loading that Molotov to like throw onto the pitch, it helped keep your identity a bit of a mystery.
Exactly. Yeah. And I regret glassing that guy now. If I'm honest.
Particularly because that could have been more ammunition for more Molotovs. But
yes, exactly. But what can you do?
Yeah.
Who has a hate? Nick's got a hate.
Oh, hello.
So I'm really paranoid at this point now that I'm saying hates that we've done before.
Okay.
Haven't we got an official historian for?
We
such
have an
occasion?
archivist, yeah, but he's like, bless him, he's got to listen through our entire back catalogue, which I wouldn't wish on anyone.
That's a fate worse than death. Isn't it?
Stop whining and get down to it, honestly.
He is getting there, but yeah, he's not caught up yet, and as a result, I don't have usable data. I don't have data.
You think you've got problems, son? We had to record them. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine what it's like to live this? But anyway, my hate is, and I again cannot stress enough. I'm sorry if we've already done this.
Come on.
We'll immediately tell you if we've heard this.
No pressure.
You won't remember, you won't.
Yeah,
remember.
I won't remember.
When people break technology and then immediately replace it with a replacement or something better. This is usually done in the context of a prank, right? So on YouTube or on Vine or TikTok or something like that, they will go up to their mate, they will grab their phone out of their hand, their fancy smartphone, they will snap it in front of them with a horrifying, spine-tingling crack. And then their mate will go, what the fuck are you doing? And then I'll go like, don't worry, mate. And they'll hand them a box and it's the latest iPhone or whatever.
I'd still be pissed off.
Yeah.
Can you snap a smartphone in half?
Well, this is the question, isn't it? Because I'm not sure I could snap my phone in half.
My fingers
Let's
would
try
break
it now.
before I
Let's try. Here we go.
No, I can't do it. Never
The
mind.
thing is, I can feel it bend. Ooh. Oh no, just turn it on. Yeah.
What if it didn't?
It's all going wrong.
What if it didn't break, but you just bent it into a perfect horseshoe shape?
Into an
oh no!
It's the least pocket-friendly device I've ever owned. Yeah, but it's like, you're a big shit. Like that's like the bottom line. You came up to me with my that's my possession. I don't care that you're replacing it. That's my possession, and you just broke it because you thought it was funny. And secondly, what about all my pictures?
My memories.
Yeah.
You know.
My memories, my audio recordings of like my inner monologue that I start with Captain's log, stardate 422.178.3. Like, what about those? Jesus.
Thing is, because I own a dog, as you may have heard.
Oh, you do, yeah.
If someone broke my dog and then went, don't worry, mate, here's a new dog, I'd still break their fucking legs.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If someone walked up, picked up Daisy and snapped her in half into an L shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably be a bit pissed about that.
I'd be slightly upset, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon.
Same applies to a phone, though, in lots of ways, because it can be like a... what's the
friend?
word? It can
A
have...
friend?
No, not friend, something value.
Emotional
value.
Emotional value. Something value.
No, not a friend.
It could have some
Sentimental value.
Not a friend, something with value.
Not a friend, yeah. Friends don't have value. Sentimental value. Like a phone, alright, is a phone, but there's certainly items that if you broke an old version of it and just went, oh, don't worry, here's a new one, you'd still be a dick.
Or it's like,
I agree with
or it'd be
this.
like, I thought you meant kind of like upgrading it, like in a way. So like, say you're playing on a vintage Mega Drive, you're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you've connected them together on a Mega Drive, which you've kept in pristine condition. Yeah. That's like, it's like somebody coming into the room, ripping it out the wall, stamping on it in front of you, just like grinding it into shards, and then go, don't worry, mate, here's a PlayStation 5. Well, yeah, it's better, but it's not what I wanted, is it?
I wanted to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you absolute shithead. Like, what the hell? Yeah.
Although, as it happens, you can play it on the PlayStation.
I feel that's a lie, somehow.
No, it's not. I've got an old PS2, and I've got the Sonic, like, Mega Collection, or whatever it's called, and it's got Sonic, all Sonic games.
Which is a physical CD.
Games.
Yeah. So what if I came up to you and I took it out of the pack and I snapped it, like I bent it over and snapped it in half, and when I went, don't worry, mate, don't worry about it. Here's a copy of.
You wouldn't be saying anything, John.
when I woke from
I'll be honest with you, John. I'd have ripped your fucking throat out.
And when I woke from a coma,
You wouldn't have had a chance. You sit up in the hospital 3 years later with a copy of Hitman 3 and just be like, what about this?
mate.
Don't worry, mate.
And when the doctors rebuilt my mouth, I was this feels like that particular brand of YouTube heavy air quotes prank, which is only a prank because they put that in the title of the video.
Exactly. They're sort of retroactively turning a act of being an asshole into a prank by putting prank in the title. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like...
But also it's a flex as well. That's what really pisses me off, is that they will inevitably think that they are showing off and appear rich because they have this iPhone 11 in their pocket ready to just hand over to the person. And so it's like, I can afford to not only buy an iPhone 11, but I can afford to give it away. And you know what would be really funny is that if I break my mate's phone and then give it to him.
Yeah, it's also kind of suggesting that, like, money makes everything better.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, I can be... It's like if he'd gone up to that guy and not just snapped his phone in half, but kicked him right in the balls, and then kind of while he was on the floor, just kind of like poured salt in his eyes and kind of like kneed him in the face.
And snapped his phone in half.
But then goes, it's all right, mate. It's an iPhone 12. I don't know. You know? Well,
What's the general response of the victim of these pranks? Are they usually happy or pissed off?
This is what's really frustrating as well, is that, they start out really angry. And I think some of them are acts, like some of them are, they planned it, you know, whatever, inevitably. But some of them do seem like somewhat genuine because they seem really like, these guys aren't good actors. When you see them faked, you can tell they're fake because these guys are idiots. This is the best idea they have. So they're not good enough to act this genuinely, like, annoyed. And so when you see them get that annoyed, you know it's a real one because of that exact reason. And then he hands over the box and it's like mint condition, you know, still sealed in the box. And their whole demeanor changes as if, in actual fact, it has solved everything. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, but what if, like,
you know,
when they snapped the phone in half, they destroyed the SIM card, as you're saying, like, and all your memory and all your...
But also, like, snapping a battery in half is really dangerous as well.
Thing is, I quite like my phone. I've put all my apps in the place where I remember where they are. I've got my little muscle memory for my phone and the buttons I tap.
And this is another thing, right? When you get a new phone, you transfer what was on your old phone onto your new phone by virtue of some fancy tech. But your old phone needs to be working in order for that to happen.
Yes, it does.
So all of that, like all my apps, all my positions of my apps, all of my photos, I can't. They're gone. They're gone forever. Not even if I took that to a phone shop, he wouldn't be able to do shit with that. He'd be like,
"What are you doing,
what's
mate?
This L-shaped thing you've..." Yeah, what are you doing, mate? Should have put a phone cover on that. Look at it. It's an L shape now. Jesus.
This isn't an old hate, by the way. This is brand new and like as raw as ever because I hate the fact that there's like a whole subgenre of people making content online, just like talentless hacks who's only it's like it's always the same. They're always like a bunch of semi-good looking guys.
Yeah, probably got their shirts off.
No sense of humor. They work out, and they're like, "Hey, we're the slag bros. Yeah, it's like we'll do epic prank fest. You know, like." You know,
Craig doesn't know what's going to happen to him today. Fucking
yeah, they all live in a house together, and it's like, you know, Bazzy Pete, we're going to fuck him right up. Here he comes, you know, and you know, poor Bazzy Pete comes in, and he's
poor old
Bazzy Pete's been working out. He's trying to get his key in the lock, and then like they've taken the door off the hinges, so they all kick it from the other side. He falls down the stairs, and then like when he's on the bottom of the stairs, they just lob like a tin of paint like down the stairwell, and it cracks him in the head. And they go, "Hey, you fucking knobhead!"
I mean, the way you just described that is bloody funny. To be fair,
that's.
I'd watch this shit
basically assault.
It is assault.
That's exactly what it is. But the way you've described it is still funny.
I'm picturing they're like, yeah, we're going to push Bazzy Pete down the stairs and cover him in paint. It's going to be fucking hilarious. And then the reality of it is they kick this poor guy down the stairs, lob this can of paint at his head. And like it's hard enough to like give him concussion, but not hard enough to split the can. So it's not even, it doesn't get covered in paint, it just gets hit. Like 8 liters of paint in a sealed metal canister.
In fact, they take the paint back to the shop, back to home base. It's like the biggest insult of ever of the world.
Bazzy Pete, he's not. It's not like he's crying, but he's just like moaning on the floor, like clutching his head and rolling, and they just stand over and go, "Yeah, you fucking wanker, you fucking wanker."
Yeah. Didn't see that coming, did you, Bazzy? And then they take the phone out of his
And
pocket.
then
And
he goes, like, share, and subscribe. It's like there was, I don't even know his name, but there was some like prick who called himself like a YouTube prankster. And in the old days when you could still walk around and like touch people, he was basically going around town in London and essentially just kind of like sexually assaulting women, just running up to like a random woman and kind of like grabbing her ass and goes, "Yeah, it's an epic prank." It's not.
It's like,
That's
no,
not a
it's
prank.
not.
That's assault, dickhead.
Yeah.
Like,
I think a lot of these people have lost sight of what a definition of a prank is, because I think like the essence of a prank is that you convince someone of something and then you reveal that actually that is not the case. So they buy into / believe something which might be somewhat preposterous or fantastical, and then you reveal that it's not real and they are in some way embarrassed or humiliated. Just smacking someone upside the face, taking their legs out, and like pouring like honey all over their hair or something. I mean, that's not. We got you. Yeah, you got me because you came out of fucking nowhere with a jar of honey. Of course you got me.
I agree that a prank is something clever. That you've like you've set something up and you've caught someone unawares. You've not just rushed them.
but like,
You can't just rush.
it's like all the pranks like that would happen in like a comic as a kid. Like if you're reading the Beano or the Dandy, when Dennis the Menace is pulling like an epic prank on his teacher, and it's like, "Oh, I've put like a jar of treacle above a door," you know, and he walks in, and then it's like, I turn on the fan and it blows feathers all over him, and now he's covered in like sticky feathers. That's hilarious. That's great. But if you do that in reality, you know, that's like.
But that is a prank, though, isn't it? I would say.
I suppose it is.
That's
I don't
a
know if
prank,
it's
by
I suppose it is.
definition.
I don't.
But you're still being an asshole. Like,
It's still dickish behaviour.
There was
doubt.
like it was like there was like a married couple or like a boyfriend and a girlfriend who, like 5-6 years ago, were relatively big on YouTube because they kept
pranked
pranking
each other.
other.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of these, I think.
But the
now.
pranks
Yeah.
were basically like, it was always like there's a hidden camera set up and it's late at night and one of them has just come home from work, you know, and it's like, oh, you know, long day. They look exhausted. They open the door to their apartment, you know, go to turn the lights on. And then like, they've got like, again, it's almost like a can of paint or something. Got like this can of paint like on a rope and it like Home Alone style. It just kind of swings down, like cracks them in the face. And then like a bunch of people run out of like, the side room, all with balaclavas on, and they got like balloons full of flour, and they're just kind of like lobbing it at this person, and then they're like, they think they're being attacked, and they're running, and they're like terrified and screaming. Only they've like covered the floor in like drawing pins or something like that. And it's just like,
You're
funny.
very good at this, John. Maybe you're a prankster. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what I'm describing is common assault. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You can...
Oh god, these just sound like funny videos that I should be looking up.
all right, guys, it's your boy. You know,
I agree. You shouldn't literally push Bazzy P down the stairs and chuck a heavy can of paint at his head. I agree that that's too far. But I'm sure some funny videos of that ilk.
But it'd be like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
but you always feel like, you know, it's always like that handheld camera, and they're always like kind of crouching slightly, like it's like covert.
Yeah.
Like,
Hunch.
all right, guys, it's your boy Prank Wank 87. We're gonna put gasoline in Bazzy Pete's toothpaste. it's like, and then they're filming through like a crack in the door. You just see like Bazzy Pete. He's like, oh, and then he runs out, and then they've all just got like a tin of paint. I mean, it's
always a tin of paint.
It's not even open. They just lob it at his head.
Oh, what up? It's your boy Frank Wank 87, and I'm back again to like doing pranks on Bazzy Pete. Tonight we've replaced Bazzy Pete's shower head with an orbital sander. Get ready for one of the craziest pranks you'll ever see. It's the fucking sander prank. No.
But you can imagine. Oh, all right, here we go. Look, we started now. Hi, it's your boy Frank Wank87. It's the time for the old. It's time for the old cereal prank. When Bazzy Pete. When Bazzy Pete pours his cereal out, I put a live scorpion in there. And a live scorpion falls in his bowl, and then they just lob a can of paint at his head.
Yeah, every time. No
time
matter what the initial
they just
content.
lob a can of paint at his head.
So we've created a really complex fake scenario where it looks like the world has gone into a zombie apocalypse. We're going to convince Bazzy Pete when he steps out of his workplace after work. We're going to convince him we've turned a whole street full of actors with zombies. And then, just when he's lost all hope that the world has collapsed into an apocalyptic, epidemic-based nightmare, we're going to smash a can of paint into his head.
What you were saying about like an orbital sander, where it's like, you know, and secret cam being filmed from like, you know, round the corner. It's like, hey, Bazzy Pete, do you mind getting like the spare chairs down out of the attic? He's like, what you done? No, nothing, but no, I just get the chairs, mate. We're gonna have a nice dinner. Yeah, right, yeah. And then like you see like in the distance, like the camera's like kind of like shaking a little bit, and Bazzy Pete, he goes to like open like the attic door, and then just nothing but like a bunch of orbital sanders, like all turned on, like fall out of the attic.
Sander prank!
And he's just like writhing on the floor while these things are like sanding him. And then like someone just runs out with a tin of paint and lobs it at his head.
And every time the tin of paint does not open.
Yeah, it's just dead weight every time.
It's just sealed. They've super cleaned it shut.
Yeah, there's like one video where there's like an ever so slight kind of crack in the paint tin after it's hit his head, and there's like a little bit of paint dribbling out.
An embarrassingly small amount.
And then it cuts to Bazzy Pete in the hospital, and like it's being filmed like from a distance, like kind of covertly, and the doctor's going like, yeah, severe concussion and kind of like fractures here, and oh fucking hell, what's this? And just throws like a tin of paint at his head.
Yeah.
What a fucking wanker.
Oh, great. Well,
coming.
that's a load of free content to one of those channels now. There we go.
Oh, I'm gonna get a beer. Just thinking about Bazzy Pete, honestly, keep rolling.
What should we do? What? Oh, he's taking his earphones out already. We're just gonna have to fill.
We're just going to have to fill in. Well, it's all killer, no filler on this show.
Well,
so,
you know, is it though?
Yeah.
We're about to find out.
I guess we are. Why don't you give me a clue about your hate?
My hate relates to something I did this week.
Oh, well, I haven't seen you at all. So,
So that could be anything.
Could be anything.
They can literally. What do you think I've been up to this week if you had to guess?
You could have been gorging yourself on toothpaste.
Not this week.
Not this week, sure, fine.
Different weeks.
You've definitely been walking the dog. I
Yeah,
can
I've been
guarantee
doing that
one.
Although less so, because as we said off air, she hurt herself this week.
This is true.
I don't want to go into the grisly details, but
It is quite
the dog had
grisly.
to have stitches in her tongue. So
I mean, there we go. There
you go. That's enough. That's all the detail you need.
That's
really.
all the grisly
What did I miss?
details. Well, I have no idea what you did, and John is now back. So,
Well, I'll tell you my hate. And,
go on then.
So, my hate is having to stifle humour in certain situations. So this week, me and Liz went to give notice of our intention to get married.
Ooh, why weren't we informed?
Well,
Yeah.
you know, so many reasons. And all the previous night, I was thinking, there's so much opportunity for humour here, but I'm just not allowed to do it.
I need to wind it in.
Like I was sort of thought to myself, I could bring in like cue cards, like with just Liz's name on it. It's like, yes, I'm very happy to be marrying. Hold up, cue card, Liz. But you're just not allowed in those situations, and
It's not really, no.
I'm not happy about the fact, and I resent the fact, in fact, that it's not allowed, and I'm not allowed to be humorous in those sorts of situations. When
Sure.
in everyday life I would be allowed, and I would be welcomed, if anything.
Yeah, if anything, that humour would count against you, not just in the sense that they would judge you, but in the sense that they might actually stop you.
They
from
might
getting
stop
married.
us getting married, so that's the threat, isn't it? And it's not an empty threat.
Did you?
No. They'd be right to.
I mean, I was trying to like shoehorn in the words work permit, but I thought, no, I can't do it.
Well, because I guess we had to do the same. I'm trying to think back.
Well, they were
Yeah, I
very basic
remember.
questions they asked, but the woman was very deadpan. She was a perfectly nice woman asking us the questions, but I just thought, I can't in this
They
situation.
separate you out, don't they? They
Yeah.
put Liz in a different
yes.
room and you're in, and then they ask you questions
Yeah, that's right.
that you would only know if you knew her.
I mean, they're really basic questions that I could probably just glean from a birth certificate, to be honest. But
Like, what is her shoe size?
yeah, what is Liz's favourite colour on a Tuesday?
The thing is, I think I may have said this before on air, but like when Lucy and I did it, because we went back and we had we did that. We went through that process, but we also did we had a civil service as well before we had like our wedding, our big grandstand wedding a few days later. But
It was grand.
they do put you through that interview, and they're kind of trying to help you because it's
Yeah.
like a he said she said kind of thing where they're like okay, so what would you describe your dad's profession as being, and they know what the other person has said, and it's really easy for Lucy because it's like, you know, and what does Lucy's dad do? And I'm like, well, he repairs musical instruments. That's like super.
It's like so objective.
And it was like,
yeah.
and what does your dad do?
was that?
And I was like,
Oh,
well, he's
right, okay.
kind of technically retired, and he's like kind of moving on to like a new opportunity sort of thing. And then the lady was just,
I mean, that's far too much information for a start.
Quite what Lucy.
well, the lady.
I bet you sat there for half an hour explaining exactly what it is your
Well,
dad
yeah,
does.
and then the lady was looking at me, and she was like, "So, would you
And?
say he works with computers?" And I was like, "Yes, I would. Yes, I would. That would."
I love
say
that
that.
Lucy just went,
Yeah.
he works with computers, done.
Fuck it.
I was terrified.
And you just started going, well, he's sort of retired, but he's looking at new opportunities in the market. You see, there's a big gap here.
Do
And
you
in
have
this-
any
in this-
vacancies
in this
here?
industry? There's an opportunity for.
Do you have any vacancies here with this marriage thing that you're doing? Like, he's looking for work.
Yeah,
so, I
you
mean,
got any jobs? Yeah.
God knows. Please take him off our hands. Like.
please, we've been supporting him for years.
I was. It's funny that you found humor in that situation because I was genuinely terrified that I would say something wrong.
But my hate is that I couldn't find the humour. I was doing it the night before we got there, but when I got there, I was like, I can't do it in here. I just can't be funny. And it doesn't come naturally to me to just be very deadpan about these things.
This is true. It doesn't.
So
Would you say that you were trying to but you couldn't, or that it just simply wasn't happening?
No, I felt while I was in there, I felt like I was resisting the urge to be funny,
Right. Okay. That's much worse.
and I didn't like that feeling at all.
I can't really remember the last time where you're maybe in like I've been in like an official or public scenario where you can't laugh, where to laugh would be the worst thing you
Thing
could
is-
do.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to dick around in most situations, to be honest. Like at the supermarket, I dick around a lot. When me and Liz go shopping, when we're in the queue, I just for some reason, and I don't know what compels me to do it, I just start dicking around. I just try and make the cashier laugh. I try and like disturb the process of shopping.
the piece.
I don't know why I do it. I don't know what my problem is really, but I just do
Thing
it.
is-
And that's no one. I've made cashiers laugh, and I love it when I do that.
I bet
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen as often as you might
I bet
think.
they sit there in anticipation for. Oh, I hope he comes back today. He's
Yeah,
Yeah.
they must do. They must do. I'm so
He was
funny.
a ray of sunshine,
Yeah.
a crisp ray of sunshine, if you will.
Literally.
The thing is,
Yeah.
I like in my day-to-day life, like I laugh a lot. I do.
Sure.
But like I honestly can't remember the last time I had a truly like hysterical, laughing to the point you're crying, sides hurting kind of moment. I honestly can't remember. It's weird, isn't it? It's like, does that mean like you, as you get older, you don't experience those kind of like epic highs and lows anymore? You just kind of like,
Maybe.
I think if anything, you've been conditioned to stifle them.
I think so.
I think
yeah.
that's the problem. I think the
the last time I can remember laughing uncontrollably was at that Vine when Big Bird kicks the door in. There's nothing cheers me up as much as that Vine. There's 7 seconds of a shot of a door with a bit of music playing, and then suddenly the door is kicked in and there's Big Bird. Honestly, that's one of the best. If ever I'm down, that's where I go.
Actually, yeah, and of course, it's often like funnier if you're in a situation where, as Chris Ray rightly said, you're not supposed to be laughing. I do remember being in like, I was at work once, and I can't even remember why, but I saw a picture of and it's still one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. It's a picture of like a Finding Nemo painted, kind of like it's either like a car or like one of those things like a kid rides outside a supermarket, like one of those little
Oh yeah, those sort of like little fairground rides. But you put
it's just like it's just in like a field, like this kind of like derelict field, and the caption is just, "Where's my fucking son?" I remember just like seeing this picture.
I remember you showing
which is like a little bit amusing. It's not even like
Where's my fucking son?
Where's my fucking son? It's not even like hilarious. But the more I stared at it, the more I couldn't handle it. I was in tears.
I remember I had a similar situation actually when I was at work, back when I could be in the studio. And obviously it's been a long time since then. And I was on my lunch break. And I saw, it's a really famous meme, you might know it, and it's basically like, it looks like a mannequin man in a business suit, and it's got like stocks and shares behind him, but it just says in big letters, "Stonks." And it's a really old meme, but I saw it for the first time at work, and I was trying to hold a laugh in, because I was surrounded by people who I know, if they saw that on my screen, they'd be like, "What is wrong with you?" But I was uncontrollably like convulsing in my seat. Like, I can't make a noise because then they'll ask me why I'm laughing at stonks.
I've got the one thing if I ever want to just laugh for no good reason, and I would recommend people look this up because it is genuinely funny, was Mr. Blobby on Big Fat Quiz of the Year. It's incredible. It's just incredible footage.
I've seen that. It is something. It is absolutely incredible.
I can't handle that. That's probably the one thing in life every time I watch it, I just can't handle it. I'm just gone. I mean, there's like in terms of sort of formal situations, I guess. I've been at a couple of weddings where stuff has happened and people have had to try not to laugh and failed miserably. One was where just as the bride arrived at the altar and the whole room went quiet, the guys, and John will remember this, the chap sitting up the row from us, who's our friend, James P, we'll call him. Oh no, that's too obvious. Let's call him J. Pegram.
J. Pegram.
His stomach could just let out the loudest growl. It just went, and he just went, "Oh my God." The whole ceremony, everyone was just in bits laughing at that.
Oh my God.
And there was another one where one of the hymns was "All Things Bright and Beautiful," and one of the lyrics in that song is "The Purple-Headed Mountain," and everyone just went.
It's very funny.
We sang it, and everyone just completely went. And for the rest of that song, and I think the rest of the ceremony,
it was ruined.
It's always weddings and funerals, isn't it? Like,
it's the thing is, it's places where you shouldn't be humorous, where you feel like you want to be. The urge to stifle it, and that's the bit I don't like. That you have to sort of go to yourself, no, you've got to control yourself.
There's nothing more like the opposite of cathartic. I don't know what the word would be, but that building up of energy inside you that you just want to do this huge laugh and maybe cry a bit as well, and maybe piss a bit as well. I don't know. Like, something's got to come out.
I miss that feeling. Like, it doesn't happen very often now.
It doesn't, and it's probably better for the fact that it doesn't happen that often, because it's more poignant when it does.
You remember,
but it's weird, isn't it? Because like, you can't pinpoint what's going to do it. I remember like.
Thing is, I'm now trying to think of instances, and I can't really think of it because you're in the moment so much. You can't really remember what sets you off sometimes.
I just remember like the moment in like the first year of uni where, for whatever reason, we were all just dicking about in like the bit where we lived, the halls and stuff. I just remember like my mate Tom kind of smearing jam all over the door handle for a guy called Jason's room. And for some reason, I just remember like being on the floor, kind of like literally holding my sides, because it like for some reason, it was like the funny, like in the moment, you had to be there. It was like the funniest thing in the world.
That's the thing, isn't it? Is that so often you play it back or to someone else, and it's just like, what? Jelly on a doorknob? Is that it?
Yeah.
We used to. Tom was he was captain of the hockey team, and he was out like quite a bit, as you'd imagine, in the first year of uni.
Oh yeah.
And because we knew he was going to be out late, I think a couple of guys, they took the mattress off his bed, but remade his bed like just on the springs. And I remember him coming back. Well, I heard it. I didn't witness it. But I heard him coming back at like 2 a.m, throwing himself onto the bed, just this almighty kind of clang. And his instant thought was to, so, what are you fucking done with it? And to like barge into the room next to him, where like a guy and his girlfriend were just kind of asleep, and just get like a running elbow jump like into the bed. It's so often.
That's the solution.
Yeah, it's so often just like a few guys being fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an overlap.
Yeah, there was a great one when I was at uni, and it was just the same guys would just always do that pranks. I guess we're back to pranks again. And one time they super glued a 50p to the floor of the common room, and then just like wet themselves every time someone came in and tried to pick it
And then
up.
threw a tin of paint at their eggs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then there was another time. This one wasn't quite as tasteful or harmless, but there was this one girl who was like either allergic to shellfish or
no.
afraid.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
And they put a single frozen prawn outside her door in the corridor, and she couldn't leave.
Oh
She was stuck in there, and she was banging on the door and saying, "Is it gone? Is the prawn gone?" But it wasn't gone. It was there for
It
weeks.
was there for ages, days.
So were you able to hand in your wedding notice? Ultimately?
Yes, we did it. It was all done. Yeah, I got interviewed. I didn't screw it up.
Well done.
So yeah, we're good for 12 months now.
Are they? Do they throw in a few kind of like trick questions where they're like,
No, they were really easy.
And
they were just like,
what colour?
what's Liz's dad's name? You know.
And
that was about
what
it.
colour are Margaret's eyes? Well, then,
Yeah.
I
see what you did there.
Oh,
See, I'd
there's
love that
no
though. I'd love a
Margaret.
bit of back and forth, but you have to be so deadpan. It's like, oh, is your name Chris Ray? Well, actually,
I'm Lord Chris Ray.
no.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
not the
put
time to
Esquire
like
after
be
it.
winking or like rubbing your nose.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you
Wink.
just have to go, yep. Just get me out
Yep.
there so I can start saying stupid stuff again.
Go back to my normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've got a hate.
Go
Hit
on
me.
then.
I hate in documentaries where people start acting like it's a Hollywood movie.
Oh my goodness. Which
Okay.
documentaries are we thinking?
Well, it's not necessarily a specific one, but like I watch a lot of documentaries now. I know you do as well, Chris Ray, and
Sure
Nick.
do.
I think you've watched a few as well.
I've watched at least one.
Yeah.
Certainly after we kind of pestered you to watch The Last Dance.
I watched that.
was
That was
very
good.
good.
That was good.
But like, there's always this thing in it. I'm always looking for a new documentary. Always, and
Sure.
I can tell probably in like the first 5 minutes or so whether I'm gonna enjoy it or not. And a big no-no for me is when people, they're doing.
Sorry, did you just burp while you were talking?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's the right answer.
I thought you may have burped there.
Well, that's like.
It's fine. No, it's fine. Let's
That's
carry
like
on.
blaming someone for having a congenitive condition. It's like I burped and I coped and I've incorporated.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to flag it up.
Thank you. That's great. Yes. Well, so documentaries always have like talking heads. They'll film someone in their room. It always bugs me when they're not acting like real people. They're acting like somebody would act in a movie, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Because even regardless of what your story is, even if you've had like the most incredible life story, if you've been coached the wrong way by the director, when it comes to filming it, you're not telling your story. You're acting. You're just saying clips which will be used in the trailer.
I wonder if it's like the director is like they do their first take. It's like, yeah, and I was out in the garden and a UFO came and beamed me up. It's like, okay,
that's the thing. They definitely have like preparation interviews, certainly for celebrities, maybe not so much members of the public.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like you can imagine the director going like, it's not really enough energy there. Like, can you really like sell us on the idea that you were? Well, it's like, but I was just abducted by aliens. Yeah, but we need to feel it. We need to understand it.
But
and then they do it
like
48
if
times.
you say I was abducted by aliens, what they do in the final cut is they go, I was abducted, and then you'll have a clip of something. They go, by aliens.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and it's when they start putting. I think a really bad one for it was "Don't Fuck with Cats."
I've never watched that actually.
Ali's watched that.
Yeah, I watched it as well, and it was like it was a bunch of internet sleuths tracking down a kind of a killer, and it's a relatively interesting story. It had but the documentary itself had some problems, and like it was like if you've grown up your entire life watching Hollywood movies, which like a lot of us have, it's like the moment a camera is in front of you, you're going to have a temptation to act like it's a movie.
To ham it up.
Yes, exactly. To ham it up. And like, and so it will be like, they come to your house, they've got a film crew, they've probably got like a makeup crew, so they're going to do your hair, and they're going to, make you look like, and you're going to put your best clothes on, you're going to sit.
You're going to look the best.
You're going to look great. And you're going to sit in your sofa, and the background is going to, there'll be a lounge, and it'll be like a little hazy, soft focus,
It'll look great.
And they'll like, Chris, you were there at the integral part of the investigation, and
I remember
as the hours were counting down, towards that conviction, perhaps you could just tell us how you feel, and you'd go like, well, it's pretty tense, and we'd put a lot of work in, and we knew it was time sensitive, but we really just kind of knuckled down and got it done. And then the director's like, yeah, that was great. Wouldn't change a thing. Could you maybe just like make it punchier, like maybe just in one sentence, and you go like it's like as if you knew time was running out. Oh, sure, right, okay. So, and you go, so Chris, what was it like? And you go, time was definitely running out. And that's what they'd use,
Yeah.
In all my years, I'd never seen a crime like it. Nobody talks like that. Yeah, they just it's a complete breakdown of reality because everyone wants to just be the star of a movie rather than the documentarian.
And it's like an opportunity. It's an opportunity to like nobody loves more the idea of everyone hanging on their word and having a story to tell. And for once, there's a film crew who's shown up who literally wants them to do that. And I think it might happen to me. I think if something crazy happened to me and a film crew showed up and were like, Nick, we want you to tell the story, I would fucking love it. I would get lost in it.
I reckon I would take my sunglasses off halfway through every sentence.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you'd have loads.
I'd just say one thing and then I'd do the end of it and I'd just go like that.
And they'd want to
look straight down the camera and say.
And they'd want to get a bit of B-roll of you like going about your day, and it'd be like you walking to your car, but you'd be dressed like really smart, and it'd be like slightly slow-mo.
And it'd be me like making a cup of tea, but I drop kick a tea bag into the mug. And it'd be like, that's how I make tea.
And then just before the shot cuts, you see a can of paint fly into shot. But it cuts before anything happens.
Every shot in the documentary cuts like 2 seconds before
the paint hits you.
Inevitable paint. The documentary is actually about the abuse leveled at Bazzy P.
I remember, and I think Rev, I've told you about this years ago. I remember years and years and years ago, I was on a family holiday up in Northumberland, so the north of England, and it was breakfast one morning, and I had like a local news on, and in the UK, it's always like every regional area at like 6 p.m. we switched to local news. I mean, you two know this, but I'm just for the benefit of our international listeners.
For our international listeners.
It would switch to like regional news, and it always had like
Yeah.
a little name for that area. So like our
Yeah.
local area was
Yeah.
always Points West,
Yeah.
and
You've got like look east,
Yeah, South Today.
northern soup.
keep your head down.
Yeah. Stop
Watch
stop
out.
that. I don't like it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But honestly,
And Midlands today.
and
of
Midlands
course.
today. But honestly, like the news story was, parents had gone away on holiday, and while they'd been away, the son had thrown a party, and this was like 10.
That old
This was like
chestnut.
10, 15 years ago. So we're talking like early days of the internet, and you know, like people were always putting like a party on Facebook, and then like
Yeah, then loads of
20,000
strangers show
people
up.
would turn up or something. So it's like parents went on holiday, son threw a party, 500 people turned up, wrecked the house, and then the parents came home, and that was the news story on like Northumbria today. And I remember this vividly because it's like the film crew are like, it's like panning shots of like the destruction in the lounge, and honestly, they've got like the dad, and then they got like a close up, like head and shoulder shot, and he goes, honestly, I don't think any family could really comprehend, the suffering we've gone through as a result of this. My house has been devastated. It's honestly like horse rape. No, I wasn't gonna. He said it's honestly like. He goes, it's honestly like house rape. Like literally, what
He said
said
that?
it's like house rape, and then the reporter goes, house rape. He goes, yes, house rape. That literally like
Don't stop saying rape.
honest.
Stop saying
Honestly,
house
like
rape.
literally, this was live on. And it's like,
Oh my god.
the Hollywood like dramatic kind of pause before.
Yeah, the way he obviously thought of that word or
yeah.
that phrase in his head, like hours before he knew he was going to be interviewed. He's like, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound fucking dramatic as shit. Just you wait. I'm going to say house rape on live TV in front of children, in front of every English British person. I'm going to say house rape, and everyone will know that I'm the guy who said house rape.
It's insane.
The house rape guy.
It's the house rape guy.
I know. I
mean,
love that guy.
It resonates with you, John. So there we go.
Yeah, I still remember it. It was, I mean, it was one of those really. I was alone at the time, but I do remember like looking around the room just in case anyone else would kind of back up what I just witnessed. It was very weird.
Can you believe what I just heard?
Equally, I think the documentaries themselves make these people look like morons.
Or just in general,
Because,
like
yeah.
every.
I think some of them probably are morons. Don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of it is editing, and they ask them sort of leading questions. Like I won't give it away what the full documentary was about. But I watched a documentary last night called. It was about the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles.
Did you just burp mid sentence?
I did actually. Then I was hoping you'd pick up on that.
Oh, we
my God.
fed the beast. Shouldn't have said
Yeah.
anything.
And basically they interviewed who was the hotel manager at the time for 10 years of various incidents, and she just looked completely incompetent. And you sort of feel like, did the documentary do that, or is that an actual fact? That was what I
Yeah.
felt about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like given what went on there, she probably wasn't great at her job. But
No,
I think the
but then again,
documentary
like-
probably made her look a lot worse than she actually was,
Yeah.
and that's on them
Yeah.
rather than the person.
Yeah.
So take that, Netflix.
I just feel like the point of a documentary is the crew and the filmmaking should be invisible. Like the point is to let the story come through.
But a very popular thing now is they do the behind the scenes thing when the people sit down and put their mic on. That's in loads of documentaries now.
Yeah,
where they come in and
that's-
they're just
it's
like,
like a trend.
"Hi, thanks for coming. Hi, how are you?" And you just want my mic right here? Okay.
It's
Humanise.
what they're trying to do. They're trying to simultaneously try and make it clear that these are true stories and these are real people, and then at the same time trying to make it as dramatic as possible to give that hook and that like, ooh, it's so juicy. But you can't really have both because one undoes the other. So it's like, what?
Well, I listened to two podcasts recently. One is called The Town That Didn't Stare, and the other is called The Maxwells, Power.
Oh,
Or Power,
Okay.
the Maxwells. So,
wonderful. Max Power.
and honestly, I think they demonstrate two very different approaches to kind of making a documentary. Because the town that didn't scare is all about the town of East Grinstead, which is in Sussex, which is like the weirdest town in the UK.
I knew someone from East Chris.
I also know someone from East Grinstead, and it's like the home of UK Scientology, the home of UK Mormonism, the home of UK Opus Dei, paganism. For some reason, there's and it's a good podcast because it's something about the idea that is there something about this town and this region which attracts like weird religions and stuff like that. And it was a good documentary because it was like the presenter never intruded on the story. And then I also listened to this one called like Power: The Maxwells, and it was all about Robert Maxwell, I think his name, like the media tycoon who died in like mysterious circumstances. And I gave up on it in the end because it was an interesting enough story, but the presenter was just constantly like a jack in the box, was just constantly like popping up to let you know that this was their project and they were there.
Yeah.
So like
There's a good Robert Maxwell documentary on Netflix, as it goes.
is there really?
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Just a little tip
Oh,
for
thank you. Wow.
Which was all right.
But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, just stop dazzling me with your weird cinematic effects. Just tell the story.
Just tell the story. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Agreed.
We have a very brief, this one, it's just for one this week. But we have a very brief listener submission, if you're interested.
Hit me.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
So Stuart Wayne Fanning, who is one of our recent kind of, I don't even call him a hater.
Let's call him an acquisition.
a recent.
Let's call him a key demographic.
a new key demographic. Stuart Wayne Fanning, fan of the show, writes, "I love it when you discover a really cool secret about your parents.
Oh.
Nothing dark or
What secrets is of his parents?
well, if you'll shut up.
What are their secrets,
why don't you
John?
sit
John,
down?
tell us the secret.
What are the secrets?
John, what are the secrets? Tell
Well,
us
he
the
says-
I'm
secrets.
glad you're keeping this to
He's
yourself.
not going
on
to tell
a-
us. He's not going to tell us.
I'm glad you're keeping this to yourself on a
Will you
publicly
please sit down,
available
you
podcast.
cretinous hominids? Thank you. So he goes, nothing dark or nefarious, just something neat you wouldn't have expected. Recently, I discovered that my mom edits Bonanza fan fiction. I didn't even know that was a thing.
What is Bonanza?
It was an
And
old.
what is fan
It was
fiction?
it was an old western
Where
from
am
like the 60s. I want to say, like a TV show.
Yeah,
Oh,
my granddad
okay.
used to watch it. She edits it as well, which means there is a community large enough to require an
Yeah.
editor of Bonanza fan fiction.
Cool.
I remember I found out and then quickly realized that I was being trolled by my parents when they both told me that they had the ability to zoom in with their vision. And it was to my brother was there as well, and I think maybe his girlfriend was there, and like we were all together. But they can't have planned it. They just completely deadpan improv'd this thing. And like I was a bit younger, but I wasn't much younger if I'm honest. This was probably like 10 years ago or something. So I was in my 20s. I should have known better than to think that this was actually possible. But it just seemed like such a weird thing to make up. And they were just like, yeah, we can if we do this, yeah, and they're squinting. And yeah, there we go. I can now see the teapot a bit closer. And I was like, what?
And then a can of paint hit you on the head.
Yeah, while your dad was distracting you, your mom came up behind you with a
Yeah, with a can of Dulux once, which was like, bam! Fuck you!
Wait.
Yeah, so that wasn't really a dark secret. That was a lie, but it felt like a dark secret at the time.
What was in your head? Did you believe that because you were like, or did you consider it because you were like, all old people have telescopic vision, or just your parents?
The way they framed it was that it's a skill that they had developed and that everyone can do it. And they kind of went some way down the road of trying to teach me and Phil how to do it.
Brilliant.
But it didn't work, obviously. But they never smiled. The facade never cracked. It was insane. I don't know where it. I actually need to. I've only just remembered this right now, and I need to follow it up with my parents. Just go, what was that evening all about? Because you kept that up for like 3 hours, and I don't know why.
But what if that turned out to not be bullshit, and your parents do actually have some form of superpower?
Well, then I'll be pissed that I didn't inherit it.
What would you do? What would you do with that superpower, though?
I could bird watch.
What could you do with that superpower that a camcorder couldn't do?
Well, I wouldn't need a camcorder.
Yeah, well, that's one argument. Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't need to buy a camcorder. Okay. Well, all right.
They're very expensive.
They are quite expensive, to be fair. Yeah, you can save some money. All right.
Yeah.
I personally don't think I've discovered anything particularly weird about my parents, other than my dad unironically had a mustache for a good portion of his 20s.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I do find it weird.
Maybe.
Again, I find it very weird when you seeing pictures of your parents
when they're much
younger, and you're
they don't look like the
that'll
same
be us
people.
eventually. Looking at photos that we're taking now, going, oh, you look weird there, pops.
Yeah.
And I'll say, who the hell are you? Get out of my house.
I don't have any.
I don't have any children.
Who are you?
Nurse.
I mean, nurse, where am I? He's awake. Quick, hit him with a can of paint.
I mean, I know my dad had a fine head of hair back in the hair. Like, I see photos of my dad, kind of like in we're talking like kind of like mid 80s, and like it's that weird era where like the 70s are kind of dying, but some guys still have kind of like slightly long hair and stuff.
Oh, my dad was totally like, in the 80s, my dad had long hair and flares. He was not letting the 70s die. He was like fully committed to like a full double decade of 70s.
But it's weird, like, because the times I've met your parents, it's like your dad has gone for like the, post 50s kind of like just pretty short hair, kind of like practical kind of.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah.
I do wonder at what point, this kind of luxurious head of hair I have is suddenly going to, just like
when it becomes impractical, you'll get rid of it.
I think you're going to have it all the way to the end, but it's going to go white.
Oh. Yeah.
And that's going to look amazing.
That is going to look.
You're gonna look like Igor from the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you are. You will look exactly like Igor.
Yeah, I'll take that. I've been.
That's a pretty good look.
Following our like last episode or whatever, when I said I loved kind of David Lynch, I've been watching some clips of David Lynch, and I'm like a young David Lynch from like kind of like early 70s. I'm looking at it and I'm going like, our hair comes from like a similar kind of cut, and David Lynch is an old man with that wild, like mad head of hair he's got. That's my goal. I want to be like 68 and have like this mad like crest of hair off the top of my head, utterly white.
Or like David Byrne, frontman of Talking Heads.
Yes, yeah.
Like he's got a mane of white, which I can see. I can see you having.
It's already happening. Sure. I mean, like I've got like white hair in my beard, white hair around the temples. It's coming for you.
Yeah, see, I haven't got any. It's fucking annoying. I want it, but
How have you not got white hair? Honestly,
I am eternally youthful. What do you mean? How have I not? What are you saying?
You're like the sickliest man I know.
Be forever young.
I'll tell you what it is, John. It's the sausage rolls, essential oils.
It's like there's probably like 15 minerals you're not getting from that processed sausage meat. Like, how is your hair
Those minerals just turn you grey.
How's your hair so vibrant? For God's sake.
Well, what can I say? I don't think I'm going to age past this point now that I'm at.
No,
I feel like I've been
not.
stuck here for like 20 years. And I think it could be the sausage rolls. They're preserving me slowly.
You know that face app which was popular a few years back, and you'd always get like what
Yes.
you look like as an old person.
Yeah.
It's like I look at it and I go, I know that's like a cheap Russian app's representation of how I'm going to look in 30 years. But I can also kind of see it. I basically look like Guy Garvey. I just look like
yeah.
so they're just quadrupled the wrinkles on my face basically, but it does kind of work.
It does weirdly. I remember we did it on Chris though, and because Chris has that very stylish modern hairstyle, or at least he did.
I did.
When it turned you into old man Chris, you still had that same hair, so you look like this very very hip old dude.
I'll take it. Well, this hair will grow hopefully back to where it was, and then I can still be a hip old man.
Or you'll have a broken hip.
And then I'll go, nurse.
I feel
I'm hip, but I don't have children. Who is this man? Nurse.
You're not in a hospital. You're in the grocery store.
and you're not wearing trousers. What's going on? I feel I'm very lucky because I think, regardless of what happens to the color of my hair, I think this baby's here to stay. Like it's pretty damn thick, I have to say.
Yeah, it is rich.
I want to be
forever young.
Forever young.
I want to be.
I want to be forever young.
I don't know. It feels like once you get past a certain age, you either have to become uncool as a kind of survival mechanism. Because I feel like if you're cool past a certain age, you've got to make some very serious decisions about how you're going to age into it.
I also think it's an exponential effort. It gets harder to remain cool old. You have to try twice as hard, and then 4 times as hard, and then 8 times as hard for every equal unit of time.
You'll be so old you won't care, and that will make you even cooler.
Well, but will it though?
Oh,
I mean, it can go either way.
I'll be honest. The older I get, the less I care.
You're so cool. Damn it!
And he is very cool, actually. And I think that's how it gets you though, because it's like you not caring is a gift. Like as you get older, you just go like, "Fuck it, I can't be bothered," you know.
Yeah.
And that's.
Or you just have your own, like, I guess it's part of it as well. You have your own style, and everyone looks at you and just be like, "Fuck, he knows what he is. He's everything he wants to be," and that's cool.
Yeah.
And I've never had that.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
No.
You just got to stick.
But stick to the rhythm that you're used to.
So anyway, I've got a love.
Nick's got a love. Here we go. Abort.
My love. abort. Pull up. Harpist faces.
Oh my goodness.
What?
I don't think any of us were expecting him to say that.
This is very relatable content. Harpists. I'm sure we've all seen a harpist.
Yeah.
Watch their face when they play the harp, because Boise, is there a fun time to be had there. Like, I've seen a few harpists. I've seen one in the flesh at my brother's wedding.
You saw one in the jungles of Borneo.
I've seen one in the wild.
One playing a flesh harp. That was horrifying.
I'm going to look it up while we're talking.
Yeah. I find a video of a harpist. This is where you're going to find one that is just totally restrained. But the harpists I've seen look like they are bobbing for apples, but their face is not down in a bucket of water. They are.
Wait, what? Their mouths are open.
I've never looked at a harpist's face.
There's so much like going on in their faces, in their mouths, and their expressions while they're playing. It's like they're putting everything in them into playing that they can't help but control their faces. It's amazing. It's remarkable.
It's like if you see somebody who's been on like the X Factor or whatever and become like a kind of a pop star, as you might say,
if you will.
When they sing, they've learnt like the drama of being on stage, so they've got like a certain stage presence. But when you get somebody on the stage who's actually been trained how to sing, like someone who actually kind of knows how to use their voice as a kind of instrument, they get proper derp face because they're trying to make a good noise. They're not trying to look good. So
exactly. And it's almost like they're completely overwhelmed by the performance they're trying to give, and they've lost control of everything else. Like it's all just there's a really famous bassist, I think, in Haim, and she's quite famous for having
Yeah,
bass
but,
face.
the bass. Yeah, oh God, I was going to bring up Hein. Yeah, it's astounding.
Yeah, it's like she's incredible. But I honestly think it's really, really cool because it shows that she's like really in it and is like loving her music at the cost of everything. All of her dignity is out the window.
What does that say about human beings, though? It's like the moment we achieve nirvana, like the moment we are focused so perfectly on our art, every muscle in our face just kind of. I get that. Like, I'm well aware. Like, people talk about like a resting bitch face. I'm well aware that like when I'm really focusing, I have like resting derp face. Like my lips just kind of just go utterly limp. Like, I look so stupid when I'm thinking.
like a blobfish or something.
Have you ever had a dream?
No.
That you're on stage as a musician and you're it's like that episode of Family Guy where everyone's expecting you to do something and you just suddenly go, oh my God, I don't know any songs. Have you ever had that dream where you're on stage and you're just like, oh my God, I don't know how to play this instrument, or I can't sing, or I can't think of anything. It's like being in an exam. It's like being in an exam in school. That's a dream.
It's weird. My recurring dream is I definitely like I'm preparing for an exam I know nothing about, but also I have a ton of dreams where I'm driving a car, only I can't control the car.
Oh, God.
My God.
Like, that happens all the time. Like, I had a dream the other day that I was going through like a 30-mile-an-hour zone, but the car just kept getting faster, and I couldn't seem to control it.
Oh, jeez.
You know,
that might mean something. I'm sure a dream analyst listening to this would be having a field day.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Freud to realise the car is a penis, and like you know,
Everything's a
my lack of control is senility kind of creeping in. Like,
sure, yeah.
Your lack of control is...
and the passenger is also a penis.
There's a big penis there.
Freud, get out of my dreams and into my car. Oh, Freud, he was a dog.
What a guy.
What are we talking about? I can't remember all of a sudden.
Harpists. Faces.
Yeah.
I've just watched something on YouTube, and yes, I can confirm it's quite enjoyable if you actually pay attention.
Did you search harpist faces, or did you search?
No, I did search for harpist faces, and then it changed it to harpist fees. Because apparently nobody searches for harpist faces. Well, I don't know why they would.
Well, they will now.
They will now. Be a very popular search from now on.
So when have
spike.
you recently seen a harpist? How did this come to pass?
TikTok.
Okay.
I'm big time on TikTok now. I love TikTok.
Oh, you're one of
I'm
them.
all over it. I'm one of the trying to be cool when I'm older guys, and it's really hard work, and it's constant revision and like checking what's cool because I don't know what is. But no, I am on TikTok. I'm not on it in terms of posting. I'm on it in terms of purely watching. And I have got to a point where TikTok knows me well enough to know that all I want is stupid comedy. I don't want any of the other garbage, which is good. I'm in a good place with TikTok right now. I'm sure the algorithm will shift at some point and I'll have to see some teens dancing or something and that'll be shit. But right now, I'm in a sweet spot. But for every now and then it does throw a little wild card in. Oh, I wonder if Nick will like this. Pew! And it threw this harpist in, and she was playing like the Final Fantasy theme. So it was kind of close to what it knows I like, because it knows I like games. And she was like playing the arpeggio theme of Final Fantasy. But I was just entranced by her face because she was in it. She was in the zone, and she was bobbing for apples with her mouth. It was interesting.
And just to clarify, like mouth open.
Yeah. But like, and also head moving forwards as if she's trying to grab it. You know how hard it is to bob for apples? When was the last time you guys bobbed for apples?
I'm not sure I've ever done it in a serious way.
No, I've done it at a party.
I've done it. I maybe have done it at a car boot or a festival.
Can we just say like
not a car boot, not a car boot.
You did it at a car boot.
I didn't do it at a car boot.
Wait.
A festival, like a village fete.
So you
went
not a car. You went to a car
village fete. That's right.
You went to a car boot and someone.
Oh, don't start.
And someone had turned up in like a Volvo estate, and their boot was just full of water. And apples were floating, and you put your face in it.
Yeah, yeah, John. That's what happened. All right. Yeah. Yeah, oh, it's funny. It's funny, isn't it? Oh,
yeah, I stuck my head in a boot full of water and I had an erection. What of it? It's entirely my business.
A guy turned up, and he asked me if I wanted to stick my head in his barrel, and I didn't say no. All right.
All right. That's out in the air now.
That's out there now.
Okay, who here was in the Cub Scouts or the Scouts as a youngster?
Me.
I
Pick me, I
was
was.
in the Cubs. I didn't like Scouts because they swore too much.
All they did was play football and swear.
That's true.
Yeah, no,
that's true.
Yeah.
They all liked football and swore, and that's why I didn't want to be in Scouts. And now look at me.
My Scouts were cool. I was in Scouts.
Scout-
And they didn't
Nah, I
play
didn't
any
like- I didn't
football.
like
Scouts wasn't good. But
I didn't join. I went to the trial day, and I was like, no.
yeah,
no,
I was
not
the same.
No, they're too sweary for
No.
me.
too sweary and football-y.
I was the same. I didn't like it at all. But Cub Scouts,
I like Cubs.
Hot-
I had a good time.
Cubs is
I had a
good.
time at Cubs.
wholesome activities for the boys.
Yeah.
Oh, for
But you
sure.
talk about bobbing for apples. Did they ever make you do that bullshit where it was like it's not quite bobbing for apples, it's sticking your head in a barrel of flour to get marshmallows
yeah.
out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
I do remember
What
that.
the fuck? Like, what was it about the past and adults trying to find entertaining things for children involving?
Yeah, surely that wouldn't be
barrels?
allowed now.
Yeah, like bobbing for apples is close to waterboarding, and bobbing for marshmallows in flour is
Yeah,
it-
I don't
disgusting.
recall bobbing for apples in water, but I do recall sticking my face in a bucket full of flour and being blinded and having a mouthful of flour.
What a waste of flour!
Yeah,
and
flour doesn't taste
marshmallows.
nice before it's baked, I always say. I always say
you
that.
all- yeah,
I've always
that's-
said,
you're
I've always
famous
said
for
that.
saying
That's
that.
like my catchphrase.
It is your catchphrase. Yeah, it's true. Do you also remember another common sort of car boot type event? is
Yeah, whatever. yeah, whatever. I went to a car boot.
donuts on strings? Do you remember that one?
No.
So it'd be like a piece of string hanging from like a
yeah.
washing
I've
line
seen it.
overhead, and there'd be a donut hanging from it, and then clock would start or something, I don't know, and you'd have to eat it but without using your hands.
Yeah.
So you were just like
What was
clawing
it?
with your
I'm
mouth
aware of
at
the
a
What
donut.
was it about the past? What was it about this pre-smartphone bullshit Beatrix Potter kind of entertainment
Pre-TikTok.
where they're like, let's take a food substance and let's take
Don't bring her
let's
into
take one
this.
object we can get from a grocery and one object we can get from an ironmonger. It's like string and donuts. Great. That's like half an hour's entertainment. Why is it always like, let's put food in a barrel and also some inedible... It's like, stick your head in this barrel. What's in it? I don't know. Gasoline and plums. It's just like...
Gasoline.
Honestly, I think even...
Then they set fire to it.
Growing up in the 80s, I honestly, I think even before I was 11, I realised this was shit. Like, I had some realisation where I was like, God, I cannot wait for Steve Jobs to invent the iPhone because this is fucking bullshit. There's 4 channels and everyone's dying of rickets because it's just, we're all just wearing these baggy-ass sweaters. We're not getting any sunlight. It was bullshit, the 80s.
And then how did we thank Steve Jobs for making the iPhone? We snap him in half, don't we? We snap him in front of our mates and then throw a better iPhone out. Fucking hell.
I remember
Anyway.
Steve Jobs' famous kind of stage conference where he announced the iPad and it wasn't working and then Steve Wozniak ran out and threw a tin of paint at his fucking head.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh, it was good memories.
I've got a love.
No, it's my turn.
Is it your turn?
Bugger off.
Is it your turn? Yeah, go for
And this one's a good one.
All right.
You're gonna love this.
As opposed to the
Go,
last
tickle my
few.
fancy.
My love is the rejuvenation of our spare room.
Well, that's finally something we can all relate to.
Yes, the spare room used
Yes.
to be our junk pile, and now it's because Liz is working in there with her little home office. It's a lovely little workspace now.
Delightful.
Lovely workspace, lovely bed, and I was so drunk last weekend that I slept in there.
So you christened it.
I christened it. I christened the new look spare room last weekend because I had an 8-hour drinking session on Zoom with my football pals.
With your lawyer.
with my business associates.
No, wait. Drinking buddy sounds bad.
Yeah.
Spent all night drinking with my pastor.
Relationship
with
counselor
with my counsellor.
with a Cub Scout leader.
Yeah.
Shit, no, that's worse.
No, that's even worse. They bought flour and marshmallows.
I do love...
I got a pint of flour to drink.
Like, Nick, you mentioned like christening the room. Like christening, like capital C, does sound like a euphemism for you vomiting on
I did
it's
not.
like-
I did not vomit.
in the room.
I did not vomit in the room. I may have,
I would
may
argue-
have vomited the day after, but I did not vomit in the room.
Whenever Chris enters a room, he christens it.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Oh, you got
So
it.
I imagine Liz felt very kind of, kind of special, and she felt kind of like happy and valued when the time went into turning that spare room into an office for her. And I'm sure when you decided to kind of sleep in it that one night, in a
It's still got a bed in it. I didn't sleep on the office floor. It has still got a bed
On the
in it.
desk.
I didn't
Across
sleep,
a
I didn't sleep
laptop.
under the
I was
desk.
kind of
no.
picturing you like sleeping in an office chair, but like upside down, like you're kind
Yeah. I mean, that
I had
was
an
probably
image-
an option at one point, but
You know those old school like desks that they used to have in like the Bash Street kids that
Yeah.
opened up and there was like a cavity. I imagine Chris in there, like in the fetal position.
I'm imagining like an old school like office home office table with like a printer built into it, and you like bent backwards like over the monitor like across the keyboard. I am so uncomfortable.
I don't know why I don't just go sleep in the bed in the next room. But no, I said to Liz, I said I'm probably gonna have a few drinks tonight, and why wouldn't I? Gillingham were playing Lincoln.
And it was 4 p.m.
And it was
Lincoln.
and we lost 3-0. So you've got to have a few drinks.
I went to uni in Lincoln, so
well,
yes,
there you
go
go.
on you Blues or whatever the
Reds.
fuck colour they are.
Red and white.
I know. Go on you red and white.
So I said I think I'll sleep in the spare room because apparently I snore when I'm drunk, although I've never seen any evidence of that.
No, of course.
So I said, you don't want me snoring all night, so I'll sleep in the spare room if I stay up, late. And I was late. Oh, how was I late?
Boise.
The snoring's
so
not quite as bad as the rage fighting.
Yeah. I just complain. I just relive the match in my sleep after a few drinks. Fucking hell, ref!
Yeah.
It's that all night. That's a
Night
dive.
pummeling.
That's a dive.
Well, I'm glad
But
the
the spare room is now
nice.
looking lovely. I can confirm for anyone who wants to
Right.
come round
After the
when they
clean-up.
can, and after the cleanup and after the disease has left.
Indeed.
You're welcome to, as long as I know you and you've been vetted.
So tell us more about the amazing decor which you
Well,
ruined.
it's I'll tell you, John. It's a lovely purple theme,
Oh,
like a dark autumnal purple, and a few yellows in there and a few greys.
sounds good.
It looks tremendous, and it's where we do the majority of our zooming. Although I'm in the living room zooming you two because I have to record this conversation for legal reasons.
Yeah, why don't we?
It was just a junkyard where we just chucked everything, and now it's an actual proper room. Which, to be fair, I'm now jealous that I don't get to sleep in that room, or both of us don't get to sleep in that room every evening, compared to our normal bedroom, which is fine, but not
There's
as
something
autumnal
exciting,
as
though.
the spare room.
Because like Ali and I are working on our house at the moment, and in particular we're working on our bedroom, and our bedroom is completely unusable at the moment. So we've been sleeping in the spare room as well. And there's something exciting about
There is.
sleeping in the spare
It's like
room.
you're on holiday.
Yeah, it's like you're on holiday.
yeah.
That's what I said to Ali. I was like, it's like we're on holiday.
It's like you're on holiday.
I love it. I don't want it to end.
It feels different, and you think, "Oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
This is nice for a
I'm
change."
looking
isn't
forward.
It?
You talking about it just made me think, oh yeah, tonight get to sleep in the spare room
Yeah.
again. I'm really
It's fun.
excited about it.
There was,
fun.
I get what you mean. There was a point like years ago when Lucy and I were in our, not the last house, but the house before then, where we both had a really bad back at the same time. So we were like, let's sleep on a hard floor tonight, to kind of like reset the back. So we
Straighten
took
it
like the duvet and the pillows and everything onto the floor of like our little office room. And we stretched
Brilliant,
like a bed sheet across two kind of bookshelves and made like a little tent. And it was like, ooh,
This is fun, isn't it?
It's exciting, yeah. Got a sack of flour and some
exciting.
marshmallows and just kind of
now you've got it.
went to town.
Because you didn't have a games console back then, so that was
No,
the
it
closest
was
to
like
coming.
1964. We had no idea how to entertain ourselves.
Shigeru Miyamoto hadn't created the entertainment giant, the Nintendo,
And
so we were forced
And
to.
Hideo Kojima had not invented storytelling yet, so everyone just sat in the
So it
dark
was-
and waited.
waiting for marshmallows and flour to be delivered.
I've got a love.
Go on.
Go on then, John.
Spray paint.
Take us home.
Oh god.
Spray paint.
Yeah, spray paint. Love it. Can't get enough.
Spray.
What have you been spraying?
I got idea.
Have you been spraying it right into your mouth?
Oh yeah.
Is that
Have
why
you been
can't
whacking
get
people
enough
around
of
the head with it?
Have you been pranking
I love it
people?
because it takes all the effort out of taking a tin of paint and a length of rope and setting up at head level. You could just run up to someone and spray it right in their fucking eyes. You know, it's hilarious, mate. Pranks, am I right? No, I love spray paint because I've been building some stuff lately, and you get a nice even coat. It's wonderful. And also, I got ID'd in B&Q earlier today while buying some spray paint.
In case you were going to huff it, which of course you did then go home and do.
I did indeed, yeah. Well, I didn't even go home. I did it in the lobby, on my way out.
Oh, he's back.
But no,
again.
it's like I'm a 34-year-old man, and I got ID'd, kind of buying spray paint. So it's like happy days.
I mean, in a way, it goes back to what we were talking about. Your luscious head of hair and how maybe we're not aging anymore. It plays into that. Like, regardless of the spray paint thing, they thought you were young.
I know. I think
cool.
maybe I'm elevating my love because somebody thought I was young for like a brief window of time. But no,
That's fine.
I've been building using MDF and a circular saw and now spray paint. I've been building like a little box unit which will be covering up some pipes in our kitchen.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
I've been affixing them to the wall, and I was like, using a paintbrush, that's a mugs game. I'm going to buy.
Yeah, that's for fools.
I'm going to use spray paint, and it turns out here I am. All these years I've been kind of manually applying paint when I could have just been spraying it from a can.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
bet you feel
doofus.
foolish.
I
now.
do feel foolish. Yeah,
Yeah.
what an idiot that I am.
Got paint on your face
And
now.
over Christmas, to kind of entertain myself and get me away from the computer for a bit, I completely modded and repainted 2 Nerf guns, and there was a lot of spray.
I saw that. I saw that on the Instagram.
Indeed, there was a lot of spray paint used in the process, and it's just magical. It's magical. You take a thing, you spray it, it's a different color. What a world!
Brilliant. What a world.
It's like you got a whole new thing.
Whole new, yeah. It's
A whole new thing.
and I'm well aware this probably puts me on a list somewhere, but I'm in the process of building like a Nerf gun rack above my computer. So as I look
my
up,
goodness.
I can see a repainted Nerf shotgun above my head,
Oh my goodness.
Definitely on a list.
and it's great.
On my list.
Well, it's
now.
wonderful because when I'm on video conferences at work, I've always got a gun kind of like in view, which helps kind of center me, I feel.
Yeah.
Really puts things into
It
perspective.
really does, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, delightful. Well, great. I'm happy for you.
Well,
man.
thank you.
Yeah, sounds good.
As well you should
Yeah.
be, because guns are never far away from me in this house.
They do solve a lot of problems as well. It's true.
So my question would be, gentlemen, I think you know where we are.
I think I might.
What won?
Oh.
Was it love or
I
was
think-
it hate?
I think hate one.
I'm going to say hate because we all agreed with each other's hates.
And even though my opinion is irrelevant, I would agree. I think hate won. It was
Yes.
It was
A hate episode.
it was a delight to be
Yes.
absolutely spiteful for an episode.
Yeah. We
And poor
needed it,
Bazzy P.
I think.
Poor.
Bazzy P had it coming. Like, this fictional man got battered in the head by a lot of paint cans.
He had it coming.
It doesn't even matter what colour the paint was, does it? Really?
I mean, we never saw the paint.
It's just
No.
a big weight. That's all it is.
That's really all that matters.
I
Yeah,
do want to see those videos.
R.I.P. Bazzy Pete, though.
I can picture them. I want to see.
I just want to see the can of paint flying in from like off camera. That's all I want to see. I don't even want to see someone chuck it. I just want to see it fly into shot.
Yeah.
How, in the spirit of Bazzy Pete and the spirit of collaboration and good old fashioned pranks, how are we gonna end this episode? How are we gonna say goodnight?
Oh well. Don't empty your paint cans because you never know who you might have to prank or attack or prank attack.